Welcome into this edition of the Falling Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my co-host. One part of the Wet Bandits, the other part is part of the Gruesome Twosome. I got Swanny and I got Marv. You guys decide who's who. But tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about the portal. We're gonna talk about the Basevols, and then we're gonna talk some Vols in the draft. Shoot, we're gonna discuss the draft. What do you guys think?
I'm down.
Sounds good, man.
Well, I'm down with it. Y'all ready to jump right into it?
Let me start with saying it's a good day because Reggie Bush got his Heisman back. Got the Heisman Trophy reinstated. So if you guys are keeping score at home, that's now 2 USC running backs in the past couple of weeks who have gotten exactly what they deserved.
That's true. If you're keeping score over the last, 3 months or so, that's everybody else 3 NCAA mill. If you really think about it, since the Vols got their won their NIL infractions deal, so the NCAA is taking L's left and right.
Yes, that's true. I also want to point out that the NFL draft is going on while we're doing this. So if we interrupt here, just want to apologize in advance.
Yeah, breaking news.
But I just want to say Titans are not getting Joe Alt.
Nope.
Confirmed.
Nope. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, boys. So last couple episodes. Last episode we had Sydney Walton on from Moody High School in Alabama. Great kid, great episode. We wanted to make that episode all about our boy, and I know you two, Swanny, you were on it. Russ, you watched. The three of us are all in on the kid, man. He's a good kid. That being said, though, what's really happening right now is the basketball transfer portal. Ricky Dell's doing work, boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's cracking open. We know a lot more today than we did 2 days ago, even.
Absolutely.
Who do we got? I can't help me on the pronunciation.
I'm going to say Acapara. We got him today.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's close. We got him today from Ohio State. Kind of sounds to me like him and Tobey have a very, very similar offensive style, but they also have a very similar defensive style, which is good. Because I love Tobey. I hope Tobey comes back, but it sounds like he's looking at Providence, Georgetown, Arizona. Russ, what have you got on that situation, buddy?
Arizona is the most likely right now, what I'm hearing. Now, I don't know why it's leaning Arizona, but looking into it, it's looking more like Arizona.
Well, their big man transferred out too, so who knows?
It's not a bad fit for Tobey either. I mean, he moves right into that offense, so
that's true.
It could be successful for Arizona. I mean, they're coming off a 2 seed in this year's tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, they've got something to build with. He's stepping out of a great program here into a great program there.
We'll see what happens, but I've also heard he's kind of in wait and see mode. But I feel like if we end up with Milich from Charlotte, that's gonna be like, hey, Tobey, go on, man. Swan, you've got some transfer portal stuff too, don't you?
So with all that said, like from what I hear about the kid from Ohio State, we don't need to be worried about Awaka or Adu at all. Like,
I've heard that too.
We're upgrading, and especially if we get Milich from Charlotte, we can just wave them out the door.
Right.
Bringing Estrella back with those guys too is big.
Right. Absolutely. Adu, I've heard earlier this week, supposedly he was going to Baylor, whatever. He's visited with UNC. He's visited with Baylor. I just seen the other day he was visiting at Arkansas. So that's interesting to me. I mean, he could end up being one of Coach Cal's guys, I don't think any of us want to see that happen, though.
Well, I'd seen that his name it was just a brief pop-up, but I'd seen his name popped up with Kentucky. I think I shared that with you, Jordan, when I seen it.
Yeah.
And it was like, to me, I was like, I hope you go. I mean, I hope you end up there because that's going to be an easy day for us in the paint when we play Kentucky.
Well, we've all three talked about it before talking basketball on here. Adu's soft. I'm sorry, he is. Like, the kid improved a ton this year, though. Like, I mean, offensively, whenever he was in a setting that he could dominate in, he improved a ton. He could run the court really well for a big man too, but man, this year it's just like, when he faced somebody like Edie or the kid from Mississippi State, he couldn't do anything with him. Could not do anything with him. So, yeah, give me a while.
Excuse me for sounding like the old school NBA fan, basketball fan. I want my big man to be the most physical guy on the court. I don't need anybody else to play physical ball but him.
Sure.
Scoring needs to come from everywhere else. And, I mean, if he gets a couple of easy shots in the paint, so be it. But let him play physical ball.
Yeah.
Don't look at the draft, Russ. Or do. This is actually good for us. Anyway, so Okapara played for Ohio State last year. They beat Purdue. Okapara fouled out in 16 minutes against Edie. Leading to Ohio State winning that game. I read that today. I thought that was interesting.
Most people fouled out against him anyway.
I wonder that, but in 16 minutes, wonder. That's true. That's true. I wonder though, in those 16 minutes, how that was spread out through the game.
He pushed the envelope. He pushed the envelope on him.
Yeah.
He knew that he played Felix Okpara. I'm working on it, guys.
We'll just call him Felix O, or we could call him FO.
I like that.
FO. We'll call him FO.
What's his number?
Don't know yet.
I think it was 0 though at Ohio State.
We'll just add on his number at the end of the FO.
There you go.
FOO? Foo?
Foo. Hey.
Foo. The Foo Fighter.
I think so. The big one still out there for us is K. Tyson, even though I don't know if we're getting him or not. I think we need to be shooting for Chaz Lanier more importantly than K. Tyson, since we got Dubar. Dubar and Tyson kind of play the same position. So Chaz Lanier,
right?
Shoot his 44% 3-point shooting percentage would be nice to have.
Well, okay, so everything that I've heard, we get Tyson. He's going to UNC. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that. He's going to North Carolina, not Northern Colorado, North Carolina. We're going to have to pull either Lanier or the other kid you mentioned there. But everything I've heard, Chaz Lanier, enter the portal, has a do not contact tag on him. He doesn't know where he's going. He is a Tennessee lock.
Well, he's getting his NBA draft evaluation as well. So he doesn't have to pull out of that till the end of May. So
right.
It could be a while before we hear anything about this.
Well, that's true. That's true. Joe Milton Lover 69. I seen you there. That's true though. But the thing about it is like if you have to wait for your evaluation, I think you don't know. Hey, I've got to come back for another year. That's me.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, because you're
he's not going pro, but he doesn't have to. He's just seeing all these guys are doing that.
Yeah. Right. Bronny James, a bunch of them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. They're maintaining their eligibility while testing the waters. I don't blame them. NIL in basketball and NIL in football, two totally different worlds. Basketball NIL probably not going to make near as much as you are in football if you're worth it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's that. But the Tyson kid from Belmont, I've heard he's as good as gone to UNC. St. Thomas, no longer a take. God rest his soul. you know.
Yeah, he's got been written off as well.
He's got the holiest name in the transfer portal. So,
no kidding.
Like, how do you even go with that? But we're. I got to give Ricky Dale credit. You know, last episode, Swan, you and I kind of talked about it. Russ, you and I have talked about it. Tennessee basketball's not done well in the transfer portal. They're doing pretty well this year, it seems like, or are poised to do well, I should say.
I
think
they just pulled the best player in program history out of the portal.
Well, yeah, but that's a needle in a haystack type of find, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you know how. But here's the thing, both of you, you know how the Tennessee Volunteer fan base is. It don't matter what kind of if we pull a guy for depth out of the portal, they're going to be like, that's the next Dalton Connect.
Yeah, that is true. We're going to be looking for that now. We weren't looking for that with Connect. We just ended up with it.
Right.
And yeah, you're right about that. Everybody's going to be, this Darlingstone Dubar is going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft next year, when it's just not. He might be. Who knows? But we can't be expecting it. It seems like through the portal, we're building our team the way we want to build our team.
Well, and that go ahead.
I was listening to Jordan Moore talk about it on the drive today, and he was just basically saying how all these guys are guys that we've recruited before, or they have connections to guys who went to school here, this and that and the other. And it's just everything that everybody we've gotten so far, and everybody that we think we are going to get through the portal, like there's a reason for it.
Sure, absolutely. Russ, you had something on that.
Well, man, honestly, for me, you said we haven't done good in the portal. We pulled Dalton Connect. I was going to pull that up. Swan already beat me to it. But he's really the only one out of that. You know, in your, defense, I do feel like I don't think we've got a Dalton Connect out of what we've seen so far. And I don't think we're going to get one in this transfer. But if we put a couple of guys who can play solid minutes, we're still going to put together a solid team. And hell, who knows? We might make it further than we made it this year with more than just one guy to rely on.
Sure. But here's the thing. If we do get that one guy out of the portal this year, we're going to have that one guy we rely on, because we showed it this year. The thing about it is I'm a huge proponent of, we needed a guy like Dalton Connect. Tennessee basketball needed Dalton Connect in the worst way. But
oh yeah, I agree.
It's funny how the narrative changed throughout the course of the season. It was Tennessee relies too much on him. And yeah, at times, sure, they did. No denying that. But which is it? Do we need that guy that can take over the game, or do we need to play team basketball? Because the thing about it is, when Dalton scores 35 to 40 a game, chances are, I'd like to know what our record was, because I know for a fact he scored 40 plus once and we lost. If he's scoring 30 plus, I want to say it's around 500 or so. And we didn't lose that many games. So there's that. But whenever Tennessee is playing team basketball, they're winning, even with a guy like Dalton Connect. So it's like, I feel like I've been proven wrong. Tennessee needed to play team basketball, but they needed that one guy where he can still drop 24 or more, 25 or more, whatever, and still go out and take the game over when you have to have a bucket and win the game for us. That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't think it was too much to ask to have both of those things.
I don't either. No. But the thing about it is, man,
let me interrupt here because the Titans are about to screw this up. They did. I'm done with the draft tonight. I don't even want to talk about it when it comes up on the ticker.
Oh no!
Y'all's draft is over with. I'm just waiting on us to draft next Mason Crosby. Who'd y'all
draft? No.
Not Brock Bowers, and that's all that's all that matters.
Okay.
They just had the next Travis Kelce right there in their hands and went ahead and took an offensive lineman. We need an offensive lineman, but it wasn't even the best offensive lineman in the draft. Brock Bowers would have made a bigger difference on the team than an offensive lineman.
Well, boys, I'm sorry. You guys.
So now he's Brock Bowers is going to be tearing the world up for whoever gets him here in a second. Whoever just some draft room somewhere is popping champagne right now because Brock Bowers just fell to him.
Well, that's true.
He's about to fall to number 9, and he's about to play with Caleb Williams in Chicago.
Who, man, you know what? The Bears still suck.
They're not drafting him in Atlanta. They got Kyle Pitts.
So
same old
all that being said,
I'm aggravated.
No, you're good.
Let's get back to the show. My bad.
That's the beauty of doing this live. That's what it is. I don't care. All right, boys. So we'll touch on some Lady Vols portal news real quick. Carolyn Stripling, she's hit the portal. I think she ended up going to Indiana. Lazaria Spearman from Miami. She's now a Lady Vol. Alyssa Lathan, she's a freshman transferring in from Syracuse. She's coming into the program too. So Kim K's doing some work in the transfer portal. Aaliyah Nye, though, she was kind of looking at coming here, and now all of a sudden, for whatever reason, she wants to stay in Tuscaloosa. So, you know.
I just want to point out that Kim's last name starts with a C.
I said Caldwell.
No, you said Kim K. Kim Kardashian.
I swear to God, I thought I said Kim Caldwell.
It's
okay. All right.
I just thought it was funny. Imagine Kim Kardashian. That might have been an interesting hire. Lady Vols head coach Kim Kardashian.
I swear to God, I said Kim Caldwell. But hey, yeah, until she messed around with the entire basketball team and we sucked.
We'd have got some eyeballs on the program for sure.
Oh man, Bruce Jenner comes in. I better stop right there. All right, boys. So football portal news though. Elisha Herring, we talked about him. Me and Russ did. He's gone. No bearing on his brother. Everybody was all hyped up about Damian Martinez from Oregon State coming in. Dude didn't even come for his visit. He canceled his visit. So do we really need a running back though? Like, that's the thing. Do we really need one? I know in the SEC.
No, our room.
No, it wouldn't.
Room's loaded.
It wouldn't hurt. I get that.
That running back room's not as loaded as it was last year.
No, it's not. It's not, but we've got a lot of talent there. And I think if I had to pick one position on the field.
Dylan Sampson.
That's true. But if I had to pick one spot on the field, though, where in my opinion, it would be easier to come in and make an impact at as a freshman or a younger guy, I think it would be running back. That's just me.
It would be running back? Somebody to come in and make an impact right away? I think so, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like because, I mean, you look at the NFL, man, how many no-name backs are out there just tearing it up every Sunday or, not necessarily even starters, just they're there and they handle business. So to me,
the Chiefs have won back-to-back Super Bowls featuring Jerick McKinnon in a heavy role. So
right,
yeah. We've been successful in the last couple of years running the ball when we have multiple options back there. We're not giving Jalen Wright 25 carries,
right?
But with the three guys that we've got, I feel comfortable with them being Dylan Sampson, Deshaun Bishop, and Cam Seldon.
And then we've got
more of that guy.
Then we've got the freshman Peyton Lewis.
Don't know much about him, but
he was pretty highly sought after. So the running back room, on paper, it's like, okay, it seems top heavy, but I think the running back room realistically is going to be pretty solid this year. We'll see what happens though. Selden is a big boy.
Dylan Sampson, 1,100 yards this year. Mark it down.
Hey, that's not out of the question, man. Because to me, okay, if I had to pick one back on this roster this year, that reminds me of anybody in particular. Not just because he wears the same number, but I would pick him to be like, okay, that's the next Alvin Kamara. But I think he's a little bit better than what he was at this stage in his game. He can catch the ball. He can break tackles. He's electric. Jalen Wright was damn good last year.
Better than Kamara?
At this point, not.
It's hard to say that he's better than Kamara.
I don't know about that. But I'll say I think
that's a strong statement, Jordan. Dylan Sampson's my boy.
Hop's offense it benefits running backs more than it really benefits everybody, but clearly the running backs, it hasn't really mattered who we've had out there. We've had good backs now. Tyron Evans, his first year there, Jabari Small, Jalen Wright have all had success, but it benefits running backs, and it's better for the offense to have multiple options back there. And just playing in this conference in general, you can't have one or two.
You can't have too many. Yeah, you can't have too many.
3 running backs is borderline not enough.
Sure. But what I'm getting at when I say he's better than Kamara, I think as a pure runner, I think he's better than Kamara. Kamara, if you think about it, a lot of his bigger plays come out of the passing game. He was receiving the ball, breaking screen passes for 30, 40 yards or more. That Texas A&M game, hell, he took 2 of them damn near to the house. He can break tackles. Sampson can do that. I think Sampson's a better running back, if that makes sense. He can do both. He's a hybrid.
I'll tell you,
guy.
the guy who.
But I think that's what sets the two apart is Sampson can do a little bit of both. Not that Kamara couldn't, but Kamara to me always seemed like he ran into the pile a lot. Sampson, he can bounce one outside, and if he bounces one out, he's gone.
You're not going to sell me on the Kamara thing. I'll never forgive Butch Jones for starting a wide receiver over Alvin Kamara.
Hey, that's fact. But no, I'm going to counter you with this. We have a coach now smart enough to start a running back over a wide receiver. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, honestly, the comparison for me to Dylan Sampson, I'm not going to put him up next to Kamara. He reminds me more of like Montario Hardesty, except with a higher upside. A guy who can give you a little bit more than what Montario gave you. But Montario was one of those guys who could do it all. He could receive the ball. He was a good, decent blocker. The guy could run the ball. He could stretch it to the outside. He could run it up the gut. Dylan Sampson can do all that. We've seen it in his first 2 years on campus. He's been electric out of a third-string role at some point. So he's on the verge. I'm telling you, he's 1,100 yards is like the least for him, for me this year. He's got super potential.
What'll factor into that is Nico being able to run. Because if Nico can run, I don't think Heupel's gonna hesitate to pull the trigger on him. Just depends. Situational football and all. We'll see. That being said, though, boys, let's kind of
doesn't hurt to have 2 guys that can get it done in the backfield either.
That's true. Little read option action. That being said, though, boys, we got a pretty good wide receiver commit this year, or this week. Rodarius Jackson, 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Memphis. That's been a big get right there, boys. 4-star wide receiver. He was 6th in the state, 30th wide receiver nationally, 237th ranked overall. nationally. So we got another ESPN top 300 guy.
Good. We'll take him.
Yeah, absolutely. Big get. I mean, I'll say this: two positions that I trust hype on is no doubt wide receiver and running back. Quarterback last year, Mr. Joe Milton Lover there. I'm setting you up. Mr. Joe Milton Lover there.
Don't worry. I won't disappoint.
I'm here for it. But what I'm getting at, he's not. He don't miss he don't miss much. This staff don't miss much offensively. I don't feel like they are great at evaluating talent. They could take a 2-star guy, and I'm just like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's roll with them. But two spots I feel like they really, really evaluate talent well at is wide receiver and running back. They trust this kid, and he's got the ranking to go with it. I'm down with it.
The offense is really good at getting receivers open, and it's quick. It runs at a quick enough pace to where defenses can't get set up to stop running backs.
Right.
Defenses are typically out of position against us.
No, that's
on
true.
All levels.
Yeah,
D-line, linebackers, and the defensive backfield.
So
quarterback, I don't know if I trust him on yet.
Hendon, we got Hendon.
He lucked into Hendon.
Nico though.
He started Joe Milton over Hendon.
No, hold up. Now he did. But once it kind of started rolling, he could have turned around and done it the next year, but he didn't.
Well, just saying. I mean, Hendon played his way into the starting lineup. It was no question after 2021 who was the quarterback.
Exactly. Who knows? Here's my thing.
Would you rather have Butch Jones here?
That's not what I said. I was just saying there are still questions to be answered about Josh Heupel.
I'm just saying.
Can we have a secondary? I'm asking a legit question. Is it even possible with the style with our fast-paced offense? Is it possible to have a good secondary? Can we win a game on the road? That's another question. And then quarterback, it seems like now quarterback's going to solve itself because we've got guys like Nico, Merklinger in the wings, McIntyre coming next year. That question's going to answer itself. But that first year he had a whole spring and fall camp with Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker on the roster, and he rolled Joe Milton out there.
Okay, here's the thing though. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If you know in practice you've got the better quarterback sitting second string, but you think the first guy has more upside, because let's be honest here. Joe had more upside than Hendon. He's got a better arm. He's a better runner, bigger runner. Joe had all the.
He's not a better runner. He is more athletic and throws the ball better.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's got all the measurables. He had all the measurables to be a Josh Heupel quarterback. Hendon didn't. Are you going to trot knowing that you've got your backup plan / job saver? Even though I don't think Hendon was a job saver. His job's not going to be in jeopardy anytime soon. So, talking about Josh Heupel, but what I'm getting at is, if you've got a guy that you're like, okay, this dude has this much upside, and I kind of already know what I've got with Hendon, I think I can coach this other guy up to be better than that. Are you going to trot your job saver, quote unquote, out there, or are you going to trot the guy out there that you're like, I can coach up? Because here's the thing, it was a win-win for Heupel. He wins 7 games with Joe Milton out there. He looks great. He wins 7 games with Hendon Hooker out there. He looks great. And then you follow it up the next year with Hendon. It was kind of, to me, I don't care who it was. That first year, he could have went 5-7. As long as I had fun that first year, I was happy. Heupel made the right decision starting him. He also made the right decision after Joe got healthy, even after Joe got hurt and got healthy, replacing Joe with Hendon.
I can see that argument for sure.
I
could see all your reasoning for starting Joe Milton at the start of the 2021 season.
I mean, the dude comes out and he looks like a damn tight end playing quarterback. He's got all the upside. Has it all. He's athletic. He's a good runner. When I say he's a better runner than Hendon, I don't mean that he's a faster runner than Hendon. I mean that he's more physical. He can handle the hits better than Hendon. I mean, shit, man. We watched Hendon go down with our playoff hopes in Columbia. You were there because he had awful form running the ball.
He tore his ACL in the back.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. That cut, man.
He made a quicker decision. He made Joe Milton. The reason he was not the better runner is because he didn't decide quick enough that he was going to run. He held on to the ball.
Go ahead.
That's really it. That's pretty much all I had to say.
Just
slow.
What I'm getting at though
Up
is,
here.
I think
he is. Go ahead, Russ. Go ahead, Russ.
I think the ACL injury that Hendon suffered. Sorry, I'm on some kind of delay.
You're fine. Go ahead.
But anyway,
just keep.
I think the ACL injury that Hendon suffered, I think that was I think that was a big deal to the line play in that game. I mean, if Spraggins holds that block for a half a second longer, we're not looking at an injured Hendon Hooker. We're looking at Hendon going up the sideline.
Maybe. I don't know. To me, he always had a funky form running, and that's not a knock on him. Just that inside cut that he would make. You know what I'm saying?
He was a scary runner. Like every time he took off, it was like, oh no.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that was what I was always afraid of. And then like you watched him go down in person. I'm watching him, and I'm like, this MFer just tore his knee all to shit. Joe was big enough to go down through there. He had a better form running. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Joe was a better quarterback. I'm not going to argue that because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to die on that hill. But here's the thing, because I know kind of where this is going. If Joe wasn't better than Nico to start the season last year and to go on throughout the season last year, he don't start. I'm sorry. I'll take 8-4 over going 6-6 and watching Nico win a I don't want to say meaningless bowl game, but I'll take 8-4 watching him go 9-4, shutting out Iowa against what was an elite defense, quote unquote, even though their damn offense couldn't score on Gatlinburg Pittman up here. I don't care. I don't care. I will die on the hill of Joe was a great bridge quarterback, not a great quarterback, but a great bridge quarterback to where we're wanting to go. Just saying.
I mean, there's nothing I can say. I can't disagree, I guess. I was never an advocate for throwing Nico out there as a freshman. But he did look really sharp in that bowl game.
He did. There's no denying that. But here's my argument to that, though. You have a month to prepare for an elite defense. How can you not look really sharp? You know what I'm saying? If you're, as far as saying, okay, my quarterback, my coach is an elite offensive play caller. We prepare well for good defenses. Whatever. How can you not trot out an effort like that, though? Like,
yeah, Yeah. Well, we should have taken that into account when we were judging Joe Milton on his Orange Bowl performance too.
No,
Instead of
absolutely.
being like, "Oh, we'll be fine with Joe next year."
Absolutely. I agree with you 110% because you and I both sat here in my living room and bought into that. Like you and I both did.
Oh yeah, big time.
I mean, we were both like, hell yeah, we're going to the Natty next year. The thing about it is, though,
Yeah.
Joe, we had one game with Joe where, kind of like Nico, like you said, we prepared for it. We prepared for Clemson, and we absolutely destroyed them. Destroyed them. And the grill Dabo was talking about flipping burgers on. Just, we had to put it on the field for 12 games last year, and we couldn't do it.
I guess there's one question we don't have to answer about Josh. If you've got a month to prepare for somebody, we're going to be prepared.
There you go. I mean, so no questions asked. When,
to hell with Purdue, that bowl game doesn't count.
That's true. That's I don't care. Forward progress, my ass. I'm gonna hashtag Purdue Boilermakers in this, and I'm gonna piss them all off. I'm gonna piss them all off over again. I don't care.
Get them worked up.
I don't care. Hey, look
there.
Do you see give a damn in these eyes?
Who cares, Indiana?
So, anywho, boys, we'll save that for later on. I mean, we got all summer to talk about this. Shout out to our boy Swan. You were on with us the other night. Sidney Walton, Moody, Alabama, committed to the Vols over Mizzou. Arkansas, he had an offer from Kentucky, Ole Miss, Vandy, and Bujo offered him out at Arkansas State. 6'1", 187 pounds. He made the right decision. And he'll tell you as much.
Yeah, especially out of the list I just heard. This is going to be the most fun team to play for. This is going to the best environment, the best city, the best tradition, everything. And he comes in at a position that we really need. So
yeah,
we'll be seeing him sooner rather than later. He's class of 25, right?
He'll be here next year.
He'll be
early enrollee. He'll be here for ball practice next year.
We'll see him on the field by 26.
Absolutely. Russ, you watched it. What'd you take away from that interview, bud?
I loved it, dude. Dude's super smart to be a kid. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He's still got a whole lot of life with a great Tennessee Volunteers team led by Josh Heupel. So he made a great decision. To Swan's point, we need that. We need that lockdown guy. If he continues the stride that he's on, he's going to be more than what we need at that position of corner. He'll become our lockdown guy probably in his second season, if not his first freshman year. So I'm excited to see what Sidney Walton brings to the team. He seems like a super smart kid, though.
Oh, dude, he's super smart. He blew me and Swan away the other night. Like, super smart, well-spoken, and polite as could be, but you can tell he knows the game. Here's the thing that blew my mind about it, Swan. I think it kind of got you too. This is only his second year playing high school football, and he's a 3-star recruit. No, he's going to get his 4th star before it's said and done.
Yes, highly confident. That's what really stuck out to me. He was very confident in himself.
Yes, I'm going to get the clip up before long, but the Alabama clip is what got me. You know what he said, just like we did.
We're going to beat them 4 more times. He was talking about the tough high school, the games they had to play against, like Gainesville, Georgia, or whatever.
Yes,
against nationally ranked teams. He's like, I'm confident in my ability. That's good to hear. Good to hear. And at 16 years old, there's no you guys have already said it. He speaks better than I do at 30.
Right. Like it blew my mind. Just blew my mind how well spoken the kid was, how polite he was, and he had an answer for everything we said, and he made it fun too. Like, that was great. That was the best part of it. Is We wanted to make sure Sydney had fun, and he had fun. So that was awesome. Next up, though, Jalen Matthews, 4-star offensive tackle, 275 pounds. He's expected to be a Vol unless something changes. Commitment coming probably first week of June. So that's a good position to have. Like
another position that we can't have too many of.
Absolutely. Number 65 player in the nation, though, Zion Grady. He'll be here for a visit next week. He's good friends with Eric Winters. He's a safety. Eric Winters is a safety target, number 79 prospect in the nation. So could be a package deal right there.
What'd you say his name was?
Eric Winters.
No, the other guy.
Zion Grady.
Oh, I heard gravy the first time, and I was like, oh,
hey, yeah, my accent's a little thick like that gravy. So what do you say, But, my thing is these Russ,
Russ is on tape,
Russ. We had to put Russ on a 5-second delay because he likes to get rowdy.
Yeah.
But,
oh, hell.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
He just snorted. We heard that in real time. He'll hear it in 5 seconds. But, boys, I mean, I don't think we got any more transfer portal news Vol related. Really. I think we've touched on all of it. So here's my next thing for you guys, both of you actually. This year, helmet communication and the 2-minute warning is coming to college football. What's your take on that?
Wonderful. It's beautiful. It's about damn time. It would have solved that whole Michigan thing right away. What was Michigan? The sign stealing thing?
Yeah.
They don't. That's not an issue if you can just talk to the quarterback in your helmet or the middle linebacker.
Facts.
Russ, I don't know why it hasn't. I don't think there's a good reason for it to have not been a thing already.
I think, Russ, hold on just 1 second before you fire off. I think to your point, they feel like it would make it too much like the pro game. But essentially now, in the era of NIL, that's where we're at.
Yeah, Russ? And that's the better game. Russ, go ahead.
5 seconds later.
Honestly, I think that the communication through the helmets is going to cut down a whole lot on your delay of game penalties. Things like that are going to dissipate, and that's going to be helpful to the Vols. We had a few of those that were untimely last year, that if we had helmet communication with Joe or whoever was at helm, that's going to stop a lot of that. So that's big for us. Now, the 2-minute warning thing, that's also big for us because Hop's going to be able to scheme up 2 minutes worth of plays, and we're not even going to have to make another huddle. So yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings to us.
Well, okay. So my thing is kind of to your point, Russ, you're sitting there, your quarterback drops back. You can tell him, hey, maybe look over here, look over there. There you go. Like, I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but you've got your idea, even before the play's called in or before the play is started, he's sitting there, going through his cadence. He can be like, hey, look left. We got Squirrel running wide open, going nuts. Or, hey, over here, we've got Thornton. He's going to be open,
I think there are rules in place in the league where you're not talking to them while they're playing,
sure
after the ball snapped.
I'm sure that's it's got to be uniformed. So, because if not, I mean, you've got a great coach on the sideline. That's got to be that's almost a cheat code. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the 2-minute warning, though, Russ, I liked your point on that because 2-minute warning don't do nothing but give us a break.
I do have a point on that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So here's the thing on, back to touch about the helmet communication part of things. They do have rules in place in the NFL that after a certain mark on the time clock that the helmet communication cuts off. But with us running plays so fast, like last year, I think we averaged snapping the ball with like 20 seconds left on the clock. In 2022, it was like 25 seconds, like with the time clock in place. If those rules are in place for NCAA and they keep them that way, then we're looking at being able to still talk to our QB because we snap the ball so quick. So Hop's going to realistically be able to tell him, hey, this guy's wide open.
Right. So, it's got its advantages. It's got its disadvantages. If you run the same play twice in a row in a hurry up situation, defense isn't going to line up that quickly. It's easier for the offense to line up as opposed to the defense. So to your point, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Boys, I mean, it's April 25th at the time we're recording. We've got realistically 4 more months till football. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's coming up quicker than what we realize. We're both excited for it. We've got this year we're going to sit here. We're going to break down games over the summer. We're going to have fun with it. I'm looking forward to this football season, kind of like I was the 22 football season. So let's see what happens. Because Nico may not do it this year, but I think he's got a huge opportunity to do it next year, because especially if he shows out, because Vol Nation's going to make it rain for him next year if he don't do it this year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm always excited for Vol football. It's the end of your worries, really. Either the Vols are good and all your problems go away, or they're bad and you're so upset that all your problems go away.
Either way,
but we've talked about it already. I'm not. We're a playoff caliber team, but not. I really think 10 wins would surprise me. I'll bet that we open in Vegas at 8.5. I would take the over. Right. I would go 9. I think we got 9 wins, but I don't think we've got players everywhere. We've got talent at every position, but we're not super deep.
Here's the thing. Hype on the road is a problem. And we've got Oklahoma, we've got South Carolina, and we've got Georgia. All 3 on the road next year.
Yep.
Those are 3 big road games.
And Vanderbilt, man. Don't forget about Vanderbilt.
Yeah, all 2 of their fans are going to tear us up. But okay, so you've got those 3. Then let's say this. Say NC State, we got to go to Charlotte and play them. What if we take an early L there? If we take an early L to NC State, no way in hell we go better than 8-4.
Yeah.
I don't think we will.
I think the questions in the secondary are going to be what gets us beat. Now this new group that we're going to have coming out there they could surprise us all, I guess. But that's where we're going to lose our games at. You mentioned South Carolina, and you know how we are. We're going to go ahead and write South Carolina off as a W. But they could. I mean, those are the type of teams that'll torch us throwing the ball.
Yeah. Well, especially if Michigan is out here, stealing signs again. So I don't know, boys. We'll have our probably closer to the start of football season. We'll have our prediction show where we sit, we pick down, we pick every team in the conference, and we'll see where the chips fall. But we're also going to sit down. We're going to break down, the football schedule for the Vols this year. We'll see what happens. But I just like you guys, man. This is the time of the year. It's time to start. Maybe kind of being like, hey, football's only 4 months away. It's kind of time to start getting excited. And then, July hits.
The
right
dog
around the
days
time.
of summer.
Yes, where you're like, shit, all I got to watch NASCAR and baseball. And then about the last week of July, you're like, because we get it this year, that NCAA football game's coming out. That'll be what carries us through. Thank you, EA Sports.
Thank you, NIL.
And NIL, yes. So, boys, real quick before we dive into the draft, we'll skate through this. Basevols had a top 3 matchup this weekend up north in Lexington. It was a hell of a series. Hell of a series. Vols got the it was like a super regional feel to this series. Like number 2, number 3, it was there. All of it was there. And the Vols got the rubber match on Sunday, man. Win 2 out of 3. Christian Moore, he had a huge weekend, named SEC Player of the Week for the second time this year.
Mm-hmm.
Can't complain about it, man. Only thing we can complain about, really, the Vols blew a late lead to drop game 1 on Friday night, 5-3. Kentucky had a 3-run 7th inning. Other than that, Vols handled business this weekend.
Yeah, big series win on the road against a really good team. I don't think our expectations were super high for the Basevols this year, but we've got a contender.
We do.
We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn a lot more about them this weekend too. They've got Missouri.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Earlier this year we done a Volling Out baseball special. We picked them to have 50 wins. They're not far off of it. They're 36-4, 36-3 right now. So they're not far off of it. But there's a lot that can happen within the next 3-4 weeks before, Omaha hits and we're sitting here wondering what we're going to do, Saturday, though, man, they won 9-4, had 5 home runs in the game. 5 of them.
That's
Christian
raking.
Moore, do what?
That's raking.
It is,
raking.
Man. Like
slapping that ball.
Can of corn. It's like they're swinging at a watermelon. Whatever baseball analogy you want to throw out there, that's what we're getting. Christian
Can of
Moore,
corn. Right.
Can of corn.
I think Russ caught back up with us.
I think he did. We're glad to have you, man. Not on the 5-second delay.
Welcome to the show.
I think it was because I was in full screen.
It could be. It don't matter. It don't matter. We're happy to be here. The 3 of us are happy to be here. But man, okay, so Christian Moore, Blake Burke opened the game up on Saturday, both with back-to-back home runs. So we come out just sticks were hot. I mean, what else can you say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that seems to be the theme this year. Like when the sticks are going, the Vols are running. You know what I mean? So
Christian Moore's a mean man.
He is. Don't sleep on Amick, though, man. Amick is nasty with it.
I love the shot on Sunday night. It was the walk-off that Moore hit, obviously. But he just stares them down. You get mad at
hell yeah. Yeah. Just, I mean, that's one thing about it. Baseballs have never lacked personality. So Sunday was a little different. Vols won Sunday in a shootout, 13-11. Christian Moore had himself a damn day, though, boys. 3 home runs, 4 runs scored, 6 RBIs. 6 RBIs. 6 ribbies.
That's producing right there.
Like that's like the town ho they're putting out. You know what I mean?
That's more than one hand.
I'm not going to be able to edit that out, but it's okay. Tennessee moves to 33-7 on the season, 12-6 in the SEC. Midweek game this week against Western Carolina before Mizzou comes to town. So next week we'll have plenty to talk about there. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I think we all know what we're all here for tonight. The draft.
What I'm here for. Yeah.
So Swan, what's happened up to this point? How far into the draft are we?
We are 13 picks deep. Caleb Williams went 1-1. Not a big surprise there. Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. 4. That's pretty much chalk. Here's where it got interesting. The Chargers, who a lot of people thought would trade out of that 5th pick because they don't need a quarterback. Obviously, they really don't need much. They went ahead and took the best offensive lineman in the draft in Joe Alt. And then the Giants turned around and took Malik Neighbors, who those two were probably the top 2 guys on the Titans board, who were next at 7th. I was telling you guys before we started tonight, I wanted Brock Bowers. I pitched a fit earlier that we didn't get Brock Bowers. We took J.C. Latham from Alabama. The 8th pick surprised me because the Falcons just got Kirk Cousins, but they're going ahead and getting his replacement with Michael Penix Jr.
Ooh.
The Bears got Rome Odunze from Washington, the wide receiver.
That's
J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, he's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy goes 10th to the Vikings.
That's a joke.
They got an offensive lineman for the Jets. Yeah. The Jets took an offensive lineman from Penn State, whose name I can't pronounce. Bo Nix went 12th to the Broncos.
Wow.
And then my boy Brock Bowers goes 13 to the Raiders.
Good pick for the Raiders.
To the Raiders, though? Like, they got Michael Mayer last year. Michael Mayer's not been bad.
No.
Brock Bowers
Brock Bowers is it.
Sure. I mean, that's one of those. That's a throwback to Al Davis right there. Let's take who's the best available at that point. That's not a quarterback. Honestly.
Best available. He should have took Joe Milton, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, he did take a flyer on Jamarcus Russell. All right, boys. So, real quick though, we'll hit on the draft and then we'll close it up because I know we're all looking forward to watching it. Jalen Wright, we're gonna talk Vols in the draft. Jalen Wright, mm-hmm. I've seen him anywhere from 2nd to 3rd. Cowboys love him. Packers need him. Who doesn't need a good running back though? Like Jalen Wright he's got all the measurables that you're looking for in a decent change of pace back. To me, he reminds me a lot of Tony Pollard.
I think it's a good comp. I've read somewhere that the Broncos really like him. I think we definitely see him get drafted tomorrow, being
I think so too.
2nd or 3rd round.
I think so too. If he's had a phenomenal combine, or somebody wants to take a flyer on him late 1st round. If we see him go tonight, I don't think we do, but I think that's one of those deals where somebody could just be like, "Hey, I like him that much. We're going to take him."
The only way running backs go in the 1st round is if they are workhorse. You can hand this guy the ball 25 to 30 times a game, and he'll get it done for you. I don't think Jalen Wright's that kind of back. He's a complementary piece to Derrick Henry or to somebody of that nature.
Fair enough.
Saquon Barkley at Philly.
Yeah, but okay. So if you're Philly, you signed Saquon this year. Saquon gets hurt. Do you want Jalen Wright to be your starter?
Yeah, but if you're giving the ball to Saquon 25 times a game, and Jalen Wright's your backup, Saquon goes down. Does Jalen Wright automatically get those 25 carries, or does he get 17 carries and then somebody else is getting the other 7-8 carries?
That's a good that's a good point. But to me, like, if he's that good, you're going to give him 17 to 20 instead of, giving up 8 carries. Because we seen it last year, man. I mean, Jalen's got that breakaway speed. If he gets one block and he can make that first guy miss, he's gone. So, who knows? I'm personally hoping my Packers draft him because we've signed Josh Jacobs. We let Aaron Jones go. AJ Dillon's on his way out the door too. He's a perfect complement to Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the kind of situation I was talking about. I think he's great, and he would be fantastic in the Packers backfield.
So I'm gonna agree with that 150%. Like that's because I've seen it, and I'm like, hell yeah! I cannot tell you the last time I was went Donald Trump. The last time it was huge. The last time the Vols got drafted by the Packers. So
Jalen Wright, fine running back. That's the best I got.
He's not from China. It's one of those things. That's what I want to see. Like him, I would love to see even like Kamal Hadden. They've got him going late in the draft, like last day of the draft. Russ, you and I were on the phone earlier talking about this. Whoever gets Kamal is getting a steal, I think. And it's funny as hell because we all roasted him last year for the most part until we had no choice but to be like, hell yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. He was making a bigger difference on the field, especially on the defense, than anybody except for James Pierce.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're at, and it is what it is.
Even if he doesn't get picked this weekend, he'll make a practice squad easily.
Sure. And then last but certainly not least, Swan, Joe Milton. I saved this for the end of the show because I know how this is gonna go. So let's hear
it. He's gonna get picked. He had a good combine. He had a good pro day. He's gonna get picked Saturday. Friday, if a GM wants to lose their job.
Ooh. That's tough, but you're right. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. You're looking at anybody watching YouTube right now, whenever we drop this, is gonna see it. The two on the top were Joe Milton guys last year. I'm not saying you weren't, but you were very candid on what you thought about Joe.
Yeah, I mean he's the quarterback from my favorite team. I want him to be successful. I'm rooting for him.
Of course.
He just wasn't good. I don't think you guys all the time say, "Well, he wasn't bad." Well, yes, he was. He wasn't good at all. He was. It reminds me, last year there was a time where Russell Wilson had better stats than Patrick Mahomes. Did that make Russell Wilson a better quarterback than Mahomes? Like, I've seen good quarterbacks play and I've seen bad quarterbacks play, and Joe Milton was a bad quarterback.
Joe was very one and done on his reads. If he was able to hit another read, it was his third or fourth read because he had enough time where he didn't have anywhere to run. He had enough time to just stand back and let one go 50 yards downfield. So, no, I get what you're saying. honestly, a lot of the times last year, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to fire Swan up. I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm going to be like, Joe was great.
It did.
It did.
Oh.
I felt like I was being gaslit, like I've never seen football before.
I just snorted.
But his stat line shows his stat line was better than he played, and his stat line wasn't good.
No,
it was a very average quarterback.
Well,
okay,
so
he wasn't that good when you watched him.
You go back through it, you look at it all. This was the worst production a Josh Heupel offense has had in 3 years at Tennessee. So
probably the entire time since he's been a head coach, for sure.
It was.
And
but
yeah, I wonder why.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But here's the thing. I'm going to die on this hill, though. What was that, Russ?
Joe's still my boy.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I'll die on this hill, though. I would rather go 8-4 with Joe Milton last year because he knew the offense, even if he didn't get past that first read, occasionally made it to the second read. Then 5-7 with Nico. And I'm not saying Nico, that's not a knock on Nico. If Nico comes in and goes 5-7, good for him. Not to say the ball don't bounce another way. You know what I mean?
I would rather go 8-4 than 5-7, yeah. But who's to say Nico goes 5-7?
Who's to say Nico don't get hurt though? If you bounce him out there,
then we have to throw Joe back in.
There you go. So that's all I'm saying. Like, it was never a Nico's not better than Joe type thing. It was never a Joe's better than Nico type thing. It was Joe was a safe bet for last year. If there's ever anything out there as any such thing as a safe bet, Joe was a safe bet. I'm sorry, that's how I felt. It wasn't that I didn't want to see Nico. We seen Nico in the Orange Bowl, the Citrus Bowl. Excuse me, Citrus Bowl. We seen him. We know what we can expect for this year. I think Josh Heupel played the quarterback situation last year perfectly to his advantage. I don't think you can argue it, because here's the thing. You two know this just as well as I do. He trots Nico out there. Say we were to go 4-8, we were to go 5-7. I'm not saying we would, but say we do. Y'all know just as well as I do. We go 4-8, 5-7. Nico's not the answer. Josh Heupel's got to go. That's how you do it.
I think we give him a little more grace than that. There will be the corner of the fan base that they just want bloodshed. Yeah,
we didn't give Butch a better chance. We didn't give Butch a chance. He went 4-8.
Yeah, he had a chance. He went 5-7 for 2 years.
I don't think you can. Here's the thing. Whether we like it or not, Heupel could have went 5-7 year one, done what he did in year two, and then last year we would have went 5-7. He's getting his 5 years. But
yeah, that 10-2 beating Bama Orange Bowl season earned him more time than
absolutely.
Then if this ends up going off the rails, Butch Jones style, it'll buy him more time than Butch had.
It won't,
because Butch wasn't number one in didn't have the team ranked number one in year two.
No.
Butch was still trotting out Justin Worley, knowing good and damn well Josh Dobbs was back there.
Who had fantastic hair, by the way. Justin Worley, not Josh Dobbs. I know that sounded awful. Justin Worley had fantastic hair. Just say it.
I was gonna ignore it because I didn't know what you're talking about. I was like, I'm not even gonna. I will not engage.
I mean, Never mind.
I don't know. It's water under the bridge now with the whole Joe versus Nico thing last season. We got what we got. We won 8 games. We
9 games.
Got a bowl win in dominating fashion over a good Big Ten team.
Elite defense.
It's
I'm not
NFL.
going to
we had our questions on the road. This all started with Joe Milton's draft stock. I think somebody's going to take the chance on him because of what he did at the combine and his pro day, but I don't think they're going to get the upside that they're looking for.
This is one thing I'm going to say as far as Joe goes, and I'll give either one of you two a chance to have a rebuttal. Joe on the football field, no, he's not the best. He's not the best quarterback you're ever going to see. He was a phenomenal teammate. However, here's what sets him apart to me than a lot of people. I met him. It was I'm trying to think how far back it's been, but I met him a while back at Dick's. He was supposed to be there for an autograph signing with Dalton Connect, actually. I want to say it was like maybe the first or second week of January, sometime around in there. Joe was super nice. Took the time to talk to me. You guys both know I'm big into football cards. I gave him one of his first Bowman rookie cards. And I was like, Joe, have you seen this yet? He was like, no, I've not seen one of those yet. Super grateful, gave it to him. I mean, he may have seen it, he may not have. I don't know. But he acted like he was grateful I gave it to him. Signed one that I had to take home. But the important thing was he took the time. He talked to Abel, talked to my little boy, and he talked to my little girl. And they absolutely ate it up. To this day, he is the background on my kid's phone. The picture I took of him and Joe at Dick's that night. That means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. That means a lot to me.
That's beautiful, man. He's a super nice guy. Super nice guy. I know a lot of really, really nice people who can't read a defense also. So,
I'm just saying, though.
Oh, always got to be a Scrooge.
Smart ass. I'm just saying. It's okay, though. It's okay, though. Like, I get it. Because I went down there that night, and I'm like, man, I could tell this dude he couldn't read a defense worth a damn. But
obviously, I'm not going to say that to him in person.
You might as well.
I'm probably ruining all of our chances of ever having him on here.
Hey, check this out.
It's probably not going to happen. But who knows? 5 years down the road. 5 years down the road, we can call up, Joe Milton Auto and see if he wants to do this.
Hey, there you go. We'll have fun with it. Like
Joe Milton Toyota.
Hey, if he's got a Toyota dealership, I'll go deal with it.
Of Knoxville.
But I guess what I'm getting at is, at the end of the day, a lot of us get more caught up in, well, this is what he done on the football field, as opposed to he was a good teammate, he was a good person. I know being a good person, being a good teammate don't always pay the bills, but that's my thought process on Joe. Y'all have your own. That's okay.
Well, that's never been in question for me. The off the field stuff, like he's a good kid. He's a good dude. We've had quarterbacks here who are terrific on the field and not so great off the field.
Right.
You guys talked about him the last time you were on, Tyler Bray. Could light it up on the field.
He could light up a Sea-Doo with a Bud Light bottle too.
Yeah. Questionable at best character.
So
he's never coming on here either.
That's okay. That's okay. Because you know what? He played for the Bears once upon a time. The Bears suck.
Ooh.
Clyde, I love you. That being said, boys, I think we've about talked about all we can talk about tonight. Don't y'all?
That's true.
Anybody got a closing point, closing argument?
Like, rate,
Russ?
subscribe.
I like it.
Like, rate, subscribe.
Like, rate, and subscribe. Oh, wrong hand. That one. Either way, boys, I appreciate you guys. Swanny, I seen you. Either way, boys, I appreciate you guys jumping on with me tonight, talk some ball. I'll have this up the next day or two. We're gonna. This is what ball night looks like these days, boys. We're gonna have fun with it. So we appreciate you guys joining us for hour and 15 every week. Like, rate, and subscribe to us, please. We would greatly appreciate it. We did hit 100 today. I got to shout out my boy Dustin Barger. Ironically enough, my boy Dustin Barger is a Florida Gator, and he subscribed to us.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Nobody's perfect.
Woo! There you go.
Thanks for the subscription, though. We
Absolutely, absolutely. He's a good boy. He's a good dude, and we appreciate him. But we're going to end this one how we always end it, boys. Go damn Vols.
Go damn Vols.
Go Vols.